Welcome again to the Armor Attack YouTube channel. Here in this video we're going to feature the Shroud, but this time with the Goliaths. 4 Goliaths, which are the shotguns from the Empyreal factor. Here, as you can see, the Shroud, and we are of course in a Beacon Rush game mode. As you can see, the Shroud has the ability of being invisible for several seconds, and with the pulsar setup we used that ability to escape from dangerous situations. Here we're gonna perform a completely different play style, where we're gonna use the ability before the encounter to surprise the enemy and ambush them. The Goliaths have enormous firepower, but they need to reload so fast. And they are extremely effective at short range. So a good strategy is to use the ability like this. I'm invisible right now. When I am getting close enough, I unleash my whole firepower and enemy is evaporated immediately. Here the enemy has the same setup, so I thought I still have a shield and my enemy doesn't, so why not just depleting his HP while the shield is gone. I should have now faced the enemy, but I misjudged the situation and he now has an advantage over me. But luckily I got some support from my teammate there and was able to finish him off easily. He gave up on encountering me anymore. Here, as you can see, the architect has long range setup. I used the ability. I'm now invisible. I get close enough and unleash my firepower, and enemy is immediately gone. It's crazy the amount of damage that you can do in just a couple of seconds. There's no character in the game that can survive this amount of firepower. And they reload relatively fast, so if you're able to finish like 80% of the HP of the enemy, you're going to be able to finish him off in just 1 or 2 more seconds. Here I'm looking for the next victim, and I see that there is an isolated enemy here. I think this is my job as a stealth assassin. Here I just go to isolated enemy while they are combating with my teammates and just finish them off immediately. So I do the cleanup on the edges of the battlefield. Whenever I see an enemy that has no cover or backup, I can immediately finish him off. Now, I saw this enemy is going to the battlefield, so I thought, why not depleting the shield? Maybe my teammates will be able to make use of this. And it seems that we made a good job with cleaning the left flank, and we are left only with 4 players, and most of the action is taking place around the boss. And the boss is defeated. So I thought maybe if I here waited a little bit, if I lurked here and waited for enemy to spawn, like this one, activated the ability, as you can see, so he stopped firing, that would be a good thing to do. Here also he immediately respawns in a fresh robot, and the corrosion got me. I was able to do a decent job with 1 character, so I absolutely can't complain. 6 kills with 1 character. I don't know if you agree with me on the playstyle of the Shroud Goliath, but I think this is a logical thing to perform when you are playing the Goliath Shroud, because those are the abilities, those are the capacities that you have. So this is the one way, of course, to do it. Here I'm trying to show you the rest of the game for those of you curious about how the game ended. And also there will be another game featuring the Shroud Goliath again in a different map. So as you can see here, the boss is gone and enemies are just there's not that many anymore. We conquered the whole map. Is just now killing isolated enemies here and there, and sometimes I'm not even able to see them. My teammates are able to finish them off before I could see them. But this is just so that you see how the game ended. Here snapping hopefully that kill, yes, and doing some free damage there. A lot of enemies. I'm receiving damage from this, and I still have my shield, so there's no need to panic or something. I'm low on HP though, but because of the hermit, that really hurted me. I think, yeah, that's game. And we'll move to game number 2 in just a couple of seconds. Here, as you can see the results, I was the MVP, highest amount of damage and kills, and everything looked great. Now the second game, as you can see, it's a different map, but we're gonna utilize the same playstyle, where we just wait for enemies to advance a little bit and maybe flank them or come from behind and ambush them. The only setup that I'm afraid of, or that I should be careful while encountering, is another Shroud Goliath, because I think no other setup can stand like this. 4 shots of 4 Goliaths at once, and with the element of surprise as well. So there's nothing I fear with this setup as long as it is one enemy, isolated enemy, and also as long as I am in stealth. Of course, except for the same setup, which is the Shroud Goliath. Let's see here. I was looking for an enemy that is isolated, so when the enemy advances I can flank him and turn around the building, go around the building. But lucky for me, the enemy was too brave and I was able to snag that kill. I received some damage, not gonna be a problem. I saw here a Genesis. I know the Genesis is a beast, is a very formidable tank. But here I waited for the right distance and just 2 shots were enough to take the kill. Amazing. Here, as you can see, that I'm shooting beyond 100 meters range. The reason for this is that this is a computer version that is slightly different from the mobile version, but in terms of the shotgun performance and damage output, they're exactly the same as the one for the mobile version. But this has improved graphics, and I could utilize this setup more easily on my PC. But anyway, this is exactly the same result that you would get by running the Shroud Goliath on a mobile phone. I noticed here an enemy character that is combating or battling my teammate, waited for the right distance, and then unleashed my whole firepower. And the Bastion faction characters are really tanky, and if you could do this amount of damage to one of them, then there is really nothing that you should fear. looking at the battlefield, seeing where we could see our targets, like isolated enemies, so we plan our next attack very well. With the Shroud, it's safe to say, and with this setup, that with every ability, whenever you get your ability ready, you would be able to score a kill. But that is, of course, with the perfect circumstances. You're not always that lucky, but on average, and if you're not having an exceptionally bad luck, I would say that with every ability use, you'll be able to score at least one kill, sometimes even more. Given, of course, that you're around the action, that you're not at the other edge of the map, for example. Here I was curious to look and see how I might encounter this bastion without using my ability. I lost a third of my HP, but was just experimenting with the setup and experimenting with the Shroud, seeing if I just faced an enemy head-on without using the ability, how much would I suffer. Here I activated the ability and moved to the enemy. I thought that the enemy would be waiting for me. Had I known that the enemy would be fleeing the area, I would have not used the ability. It was a wasted ability. But no problem. I'm gonna chase him after making the beacon white. And with the mobile phone version you can't go through this gap, but with this PC version you can do that. Capturing the beacon, the enemy team is having their last breath, as you can see, barely having any characters left, 4 players. I was expecting someone to come to spawn fresh and come from the enemy spawn, but nobody came. But here it seems like the action is beginning. I'm looking very careful to pick my target, because it's important to pick only one target at a time, activating my ability. Otherwise, with more targets, you will be ambushed instead of ambushing the enemies. Exactly like this situation, but I was extremely lucky that this wasn't paying attention to me. Or was maybe a bot, I don't know. Now, this skill was provided for me free of charge, and here I can get that architect again. So in the action I got snapped like 3 kills with some good luck that I got and some help from my teammates. Here the enemies are just having their last character, and it seems like even either a very hopeless player or a bot that is just facing the wall and doing nothing. It can be either a desperate player or a very primitive bot. And here, as you can see, we won the game. You're gonna see the results. If you like the video, leave a thumb up and make sure to subscribe. See you in the next video. Hope you liked it. Bye bye.